guys, in today's video I'm going to review a trade that I took this week on a penny stock ticker where I could have taken 28% but instead took just 15%. I adapted my plan during the trade, and although I could have made more, I still came away with more money than if I'd stuck to my initial risk. So I'm going to break down the trade and look at why I changed my plan. So the ticker that I traded was CYCN. So this is the daily chart over here, and you can see it's had a big run on this day here on high volume. It's done 264 mil in volume, and it's gone from around the 150s up to highs of 847-ish. So I've not traded it on this day. I'm waiting for a pullback and potentially play it for a bounce. So let's go to the intraday chart and have a look at that. So we'll start off on the 5-minute time frame. So this is its big day one here, and then you've got the retracement on day two. And this is something to note, that here on day two, it's gone from around 460s to highs of 675. So within that is like a 44% bounce, something like that. So that's quite significant, and that can definitely mess up the pattern and the potential for it to bounce further down the line. Like that could just be the bounce. So that's something to bear in mind. However, I still was watching it to see what it did, and after that it did have this nice clean retracement. And I actually traded it first of all on this day here, and the reason why is if we go on to the hourly chart, so it's had that clean retracement, and if we go back in history, this big run here, it retraced all the way down to where this blue line is, and then it bounced off there, and a similar area just here as well was support. So the fact that, let's go back to the 5-minute, on this day where I traded it, it had broken that blue line of historical support, but then it reclaimed it pre-market, and then it had held above the previous day's close for the entire pre-market absolutely perfectly, this whole area here. So I thought this was the day that this is going to do a bounce. The fact that it's reclaimed this historical area of support, it's holding above red green, it's had a retracement, and it looks like it wants to bounce. So I did actually take it on this day and got stopped out on this area here, which is fine. So that kind of says to me this probably isn't going to bounce. If it was going to bounce, it would be on this day. But I did keep an eye on it the next day, more retracement, and then it was holding above, it was hovering around the previous day's close on pre-market. And I just thought it's worth a go, just purely because of the red-green area, the choppiness around it, and the fact that there's a nice volume drop-off from its big run-up as well. So I took a tiny bit pre-market 287, added in on market open. I'll just go to the 1-minute time frame. Added in on market open, my average entry was 293, and you can see that it did start to do the bounce, which was nice. And my main PT, not my final PT, was up here around the 4 mark, and then just maybe YOLO shares if it wanted to go up here. Obviously it didn't hit either of those PTs. It went to this one, which was around here. I'm sitting on a 28% gain, but I'm trying to be really patient, stick to my plan. My risk is now this red-green level, which is the previous day's close, and can see that the volume was coming in, but not enough. Kind of was a bit stagnant. So I was, as I say, trying to wait for the higher PTs, but it didn't happen. And I think the indication here was this double top. It's still not got as much action as I would expect, and then it just can't go any further. So normally I just stick to my risk, and that's that. But once it's sort of spiked 28%, I do have to start thinking about moving my risk up, especially if the action isn't looking as I would expect. So didn't get any off here. On the pullbacks, I would kind of let it pull back and then sell a little bit into the next move up. So I think my best sell was like 350 here. And, I've still got a bit of hope that maybe it wants to continue. So I'm not selling off everything there, but every time it goes a little bit lower, I'm then selling off a bit more. And then my lowest sell was 332. So here. And I was all out of the trade at that point, and I took a 15% gain when obviously I could have taken a 28% gain. But I'm happy that I adapted my plan. When I could see it wasn't showing strength, I was just selling off pieces into the little bits that I could. And then, if I'd waited for it to come all the way back down to my initial risk, then I would have come out with a lot smaller gain. So I am happy with that trade overall. Trying to analyse why this didn't work as well as it could. Saying that though, that is a 28% bounce. Don't really know, that's a really good profit, to be honest. So, it did do the move, but I think potentially a lot of shorts covered into that day one, and perhaps there was less shorts trapped than I was expecting. So yeah, that's the trade, CYCN, and that's kind of a first green day bounce setup. So it's only been 1 week of April so far, but this is my first green trade that I've took in the month of April. But I'm feeling pretty chilled about it, and I'm just waiting for the next opportunity to present itself. I'm also getting more comfortable with pushing larger size, still trading with a 2k account, but I'm getting used to that, and also getting used to the larger losses that inevitably come with that when you're sizing up on a trade. And I'm just trying to be disciplined and patient, and I know how quickly and easily you can make losses back if you stick to risk and you hit a good setup. So I'm still working towards trading with a 10k account. I'm not quite there yet. I still need more proof of concept, but I'm feeling confident and feel like I'm going in the right direction and excited for the next part of my journey. Thanks for watching, and catch you next Sunday.